This is the process for changing the reagent bags in the Sunburst sensor's AFT flow-through units. What you want to make sure is that the unit, you've disconnected it from the tubing and you have a free, smooth surface area to work on. You also want to, before you do this step, to make sure that you have, in a safe place, make sure you've drained the flow-through cavity so there isn't excess water draining out. At this point, you can take the unit and carefully and gently flip it over and set it down on your work area. At this point, you can take the plugs, the small legs, unscrew them, grab the sides, lift the metal plating off, be set aside, and inside you will find the chassis, the plastic mesh that is holding the reagent bags in place. What you'll need is a small wire cutters to snip this connectors holding the bag shut. What you can do at this point is disconnect the fittings. Make sure you leave the union on the side facing the bags. If you have them, you can take a plug, if there's any remaining, to seal up the bags so there's no dripping. Depending on the unit you're working on, this is an example of a CO2 unit which has 2 bags in it. If you're working on a pH unit, you'll only have a single bag and you'll only have this connector to work with. If you're working with a CO2 unit, the color coding is the reddish color fitting is where the reagent goes, and the blue are where the blank bags go. At this point, you can remove the empty bags, set these aside. If you have a pH, simply slide it in like this. If you have a CO2 unit as well, put the blank bag on top so that they fit together comfortably. Slide these into the mesh bag. There should be an opening in the mesh for the tubing to come through. You can take some small 4-inch cable ties or zip ties. Take 1 or 2 to help hold them closed and in place. Trim off the excess. What you want to do is, at this point, have this set nearby with the fitting, the area for the fittings facing down. You can open the replacement bags. Put a light and gentle amount of pressure, making sure the yellow tubing, the yellow fitting is at the bottom, and well up a small amount of liquid so that the union area is filled, and it makes it much less likely you're going to introduce air bubbles into the system. And then close the fitting. Same thing with the other bag. Small amount of pressure. Close tightly. Simply set the bag in, the mesh. Gently make sure that the tubing isn't crimped or caught. tuck this underneath. Take the metal lid, gently place over top. Make sure everything is inside. And replace the feet. Do note that with the larger bags, there may be more tension. It just takes a little bit of light pressure to push down and make a connection with the screws. Make sure all four are lightly snug, and the unit is ready for use.